Ladies and gentlemen, Healthy Criticism here. Today we're taking a look at Dawn of Man. It is a city builder game based on starting off at the Stone Age and then progressing through the different ages as you unlock new technologies. It is developed and published by Madruga Works. As you can see, they are the people that brought us Planet Base and are now bringing us Planet Base 2 soon. It's 50% off right now as of the making of this video until July 10th, which is interesting. And it's at $12.50 right now. Do I think it's worth it at 25 bucks? Well, maybe you can try to guess that from my tone at the end of this video. But before everything, gameplay, I'm going to be taking a look at the settings as usual. And as you can see, there are not a plethora of them, but there are there's a fair amount is what I want to say. You have quality, you have resolution, you have full screen or borderless and everything you want to do there. You got VSync, which I should probably enable. FPS limit is at infinite, of course, but VSync overrides that. And anti-aliasing is disabled because I don't feel like I need it. Gameplay options, you have camera rotation. The camera rotation, man, I'm going to try Orbit because the camera controls are quite the worst part about this game, and it's almost what made me put it down. You got some audio options here. They go up to 10. And that was the music, sound effects, and UI. That's all there is to the game. So separate sliders for everything, which is nice. And miscellaneous is the language. Edge scrolling, of course, is there as well. We're going to go back. We're going to hit continue. Do play the tutorial if you want to. I kind of didn't play the tutorial and I just jumped through the game. And I was doing decent. I don't think it was that challenging to play, but what we're going to see here is my village. So, as you may have known, or may have guessed, you kind of start off with a little campfire here, and some tents, some shacks or whatever. Nothing crazy there. The orbit is a little better for the rotation, but you have to use the page up and page down keys in order to go up and down on the camera, which is a little weird. These are by far some of the worst controls that I've seen. If you hold down the middle wheel, if you click it, you can rotate it, right? But if I'm moving the mouse up and down, why can't I control the panning and the tilting? That doesn't quite make sense to me, if we're being quite honest, Mr. Developer Man. Now, another thing that really annoys me about this game is the fact that you don't have an options menu while you're in the game. So I have to save, right? Let's just save there, okay? I have to actually quit and then go into the menu, go into the settings, disable virtual VSync if I want to, and then continue. I personally, as a human being that's been alive for 31 years, do not understand why that is. And this game was released back in 2019, so it's not like they didn't have enough time to do what they needed to do, right? There's still a little bit of stutter. There's going to be some stutter in the beginning of the game, no matter how you squeeze it, but it's fine. What I would like to have seen more is a more aggressive pan down. I wanted to be able to pan down more so I can look at my base on more of a top-down view, but that's not the case, unfortunately. But it's something that you're gonna have to live with. So let's go over the basics of the game. I like that you can have multiple charts however you want them. It's really nice. You know, you can just add things here. You can add things on the left side, on the right side. There's no minimap, which I really think hurts the game dramatically. There not being a minimap is quite severe and significant because I'm constantly exploring, right, to find animals and resources and all that. I've kind of learned the map by now, so I'm mostly able to tell where I am based on this river here. Kind of leads me back to my home, which is right here. There's no home button either to take you back to your home base. It's a little difficult to navigate yourself through the game, but eventually you're gonna get the hang of it. However, it's not optimal, right? It's not the best. So that's the main complaint I have about the game, and the lack of the minimap and the controls. So let's move on to a little bit of more of a complaint that I have about the game, and it's how slow it is, right? This is time 8. you're going to be sitting looking at this screen doing nothing for quite some time. Let me tell you, prepare to be idle with this game. Prepare to go take a leak, even take a shit if you have to. Go prepare some dinner, maybe eat the dinner. You don't necessarily have to bring it to your computer to eat it, but I've gone to walk my dog for 10 minutes and I've come back. What I needed to be done still hadn't been done, but it was getting done, I guess. That's something sometimes, right? It's the small victories that you're gonna have to worry about. Where are these guys coming from? Why are they naked? And why is my population dropping so much? That's probably because of the raider attack. So here's the deal with this game. The option, the goal, of course, is to survive, right? Is to collect resources, to build up your base, build up a wall around it to protect it, because there are raiders that will be attacking you, and it's going to be detrimental that you fend them off as much as possible. And you're going to have to build weapons for that. You're going to have to build walls. You're going to have to build archer towers. You're going to have to do a lot of stuff in order to do that. My cattle has died from starvation because nobody's feeding them, because I don't have enough people in my midst right now. I'm at 60. Hopefully they start fucking and bringing us some babies so that the civilization doesn't crumble. Up here, you're going to see the workload is very high. That's because I've ordered a bunch of archery towers to be built so I can actually defend myself against the raiders more effectively. Let's chop this tree down, and I'm going to slow down the time to ×1 so that I can see a little bit more accurately what is happening. So the stutter is severe. It's not just on the video that you might be seeing it. The game is actually stuttering a lot, and it is a problem. No matter what I do with the V-Sync, it's the G-Sync is not kicking in. Everything is stuttering, so there's definitely some performance deficit to be noticed in the game. And I haven't been able to figure it out yet, but thankfully, I'm towards the end of the game. And what do I mean about the end of the game is your knowledge points are up here on the top right. And this is your research tree. So the white ones are the ones that I still need to research in order to progress. You don't really need the research to progress. You just have to do that main one right here. I think it starts with this one, and then this one, and then up here. Every time you unlock the prerequisite for that age, you go into that age. So right now, as you can see, I'm the Bronze Age, but you do start at the Palaeolithic Age or the Stone Age. And you will be seeing messages about certain animals being extinct as you progress through the ages, right? So one of the first ones was the woolly mammoth that went extinct, and the woolly rhino. So you didn't actually hunt them to extinction. Don't worry, I didn't even hunt one to begin with. That's just an automatic thing that happens with the game, unfortunately. So there's no music right now playing, which is quite interesting. I can't go to the settings to increase the music, but it's going to be a little dead in here. Not very atmospheric, if I may say so myself. But it's just something that we're going to have to deal with right now. This is the building menu here. It's fairly intuitive. It's not incredibly difficult to understand. You got your residences here. You got the stone stables. You got your roundhouse, which is the upgraded hut. You have your stables, your hut, and your tent. I don't have any more tents. The more you upgrade the housing buildings, the more people that they can fit in order to increase your population a little bit more. I don't understand why the stables are in the residence menu. I would probably put them in production for food, because they do produce food, but they also produce resources. It's fine, as long as you remember it. This is my storage menu here. These are my options. You start with some piles, and then you can do huts and warehouses, and then the granary, of course, can be upgraded once you reach the later age. Right now, I don't have a Staddle Stones available option yet. You got the production here, which is going to be your main focus. You're going to be needing a lot of crafters, a lot of where's the other one? The skin dryer. Let's see, not the weaver as much, but it's going to be the workshop. That's going to be important. All these are important, and of course you're going to be unlocking more as the ages progress. The metallurgy, or however you want to pronounce it, English is my second language. This is where you going to be mining a lot of resources here. So for example, this is a flint mine. You can use that to mine the flint mine. This is a copper mine that needs to be mined out, and so on and so forth. You're going to be using those resources to craft things. And it's as simple as, for example, the charcoal pit creates charcoal, and then you take it to the furnace. You're going to be smelting a bunch of stuff to create bronze and copper, and then iron, of course, on the next stage, which I haven't really bothered going to. And that's pretty much how you progress through the game. You know, you have various options here for a food dryer. You have your granary, which is going to be holding only food. This is the warehouse that's going to be holding everything, and you can tell it not to hold everything, but, you know, you're going to be running out of space a lot, so it's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. And my workload is really high right now because my population has gone down. I did get attacked by some like a bandit squad that was really, really strong. They came through here, and there was one of them that had survived, and it was just going rogue, killing everybody here. He killed about 10 of my people. By the time I was able to notice and just select a bunch of my villagers and bring them here in order to attack him, because going one-on-one was a death sentence for him. For me, rather. He was taking out all of my people, and it was not pretty to look at. So what my plans for this expansion is to kind of build a second village here, just build a square wall, put some huts down. I don't really need more food, but I do need more production, so there's going to be more crafters, more furnaces and everything, so I can build more tools, more weapons and everything. So right now my production being really low and my workload being very high is not really helping. And if you click that, it's going to show you the active tasks and what has been queued to be done, right? And the game is fairly intelligent. So right now the watchtower is one of the ones that has been queued, but I'm running low on log. If I am running low on log, best believe they're gonna mine some trees. They're gonna chop down some trees in order to be able to fulfill that path. So when I say you're gonna be idle for the most part, is sitting here, right, waiting for your research to progress. You cannot actively increase your research production because there's nothing really you can do besides waiting, right? You may see down here you get a research point for producing 1,000 leather, or the 1,000th straw that you collected from the fields is what's causing you as well to do that. And that's why it's mostly a waiting game. It absolutely is a waiting game. You're going to be waiting. You're really bound to your tech tree for progress in the game. So my goal is to have all the walls and everything on stone. And I do suspect that, you know, it's quite difficult to keep up the population growth for the raider attacks. The raiders do get significantly stronger the more the more the time goes, and they're going to be attacking you more often. Each attack is more devastating than the other. So just make sure that before you progress through the ages that you do actually have a certain amount of tools and weapons in your availability. And this is where the limit comes, and I really, really like the limit. So before I do that, I want to say you got some work areas that you can do here. You got mud and everything. So for example, if you want to obtain flint, if I put the flint here, as you can see, all these have been mined, so I do have to build a mine shaft in order to mine them, right? So if I want to go here, I believe there was another flint. There's a flint deposit here. Before you have to mine them, they can just collect the flint. And once the flint is collected fully, then this disappears, and you don't have to worry about residue flags everywhere for those ADHD people out there. Same thing with the stone here. Once they collect the stone on these pebble areas, that's going to disappear as well, which is really nice. And then the manage screen has one of the most important options of the menu, and that's the limits. These are the limits here. So for example, meat. I want to have 150% worth of meat in my camp. I don't want everybody to have one piece. I want half of the people to have the option to get a second piece if they want to. Same with fish. Fruits and vegetables, they can be unlimited. I do have these are all my trees that I've put down, so they produce a lot of food. Grain is set to unlimited, but the flour is set to 40, and then everybody in the village gets. So you get the idea, right? And then you get to the tools. So the A is for adult. You can have it so that 100% of your adults have access to a spear. 100% of your adults have access to knives. Certain tools not everybody needs. So I do want to have 100% of my adults have access to arrows, the bows, and what I want to do actually is make sure that the right bow and arrow are the ones that are being produced. And it's going to be this one. Let's do limits. Okay, it's going to be fine. So if you right click this, it's going to automatically be producing it by using either leather for the bow or string for the composite bow. The composite bow is a little bit faster. As you can see, the hunting is going to be 4 stars, 4 out of 4 star versus 3 out of 4 stars. And the sling is useless for the most part. But you do use those tools for defense as well, so it's not just hunting and everything. I have toned down the hunting a lot because I do have a lot of fruit. So as you start progressing your establishment more and more, you rely less on hunting and gathering and more on your own production, right? So I have 5 stables now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they all have animals, of course, and they produce milk, they produce meat because I have pigs, I have cattle, I have the donkeys that are being used by the carts in order to move things a little bit faster. I've got horses that are used for plowing, which is really important. You can also use cattle for plowing, but I'm just going to use horses because they're a little bit faster. And this one tells you how many animals you can have and how many animals you have right there. So, all in all, what it really bottles down to is a really interesting game because as you progress through the ages, you do see the noticeable difference. Things are moving a little bit faster. People are producing things more and more. My food supply is what's going to be up here on the left corner. I have plenty of food, right? And a lot of people died, so I'm going to have a little bit more food than I need to, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And the more animals are being produced, the more they get slaughtered and add more to my inventory. But I've become a little bit more self-sufficient. It's not the case as much because of my population has dropped now, so I'm struggling a little bit more than I would like to. And there's a trader that shows up in your main hub area here that offers some really bad deals for you, so don't take them. Do not take them. And the main issue with the game, again, is that you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. So right now I've been playing for a few minutes. I'm still at 11 knowledge, right? I've done a lot of my milestones. These are my milestones here. The Secret of Steel and the Iron Settlement. So I need 150 people and build a cairn for my settlement. And then this one produced 20 units of steel. So that's where I'm at. I'm kind of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for things to happen. And the issue is that it's still satisfying, right? I had to build these monolith buildings here. I had to go all the way and find a monolith, which I'm not able to find right now. Oh, is that it? Yeah, a megalith. Sorry, not a monolith, a megalith. That has to be mined. It has to be extracted from the floor, and then it has to be dragged all the way back to your base. That shit takes a long time. It's not easy to do. These are the donkeys here. Let's see if I can actually domesticate a few and bring them back to my base because I'm running a little bit low on donkeys and I need them for the carts. If I can build more stables, I can actually have a few more animals in my possession. And that's the majority of the game, really. It's very interesting. It's challenging. It's not an easy game, right? But it's not an impossible to play game. It's still fairly easy to play, and I do appreciate it. I have played quite a lot of it, and I do want to keep playing a little bit more, at least to finish the game. So what I want to do is save. I'm going to do a new save, and I'm going to hit quit so I can actually show you what the new game looks like when you try to start it up. I have the Northlands and I have the Ancient Warriors. Requires all 10 milestones, or 10 milestones, not all of them. And then this is going to be the second map here for the free play. You got some challenges that you can do, which is really nice. Then you have some community scenarios that I haven't really browsed on to bother with. But the Long March, these are going to be interesting to see. So even for 25 bucks, right? It's a lot of money. That's a lot of food that you can buy with $25. But it offers a fair amount of content, right? It's not just a free play, go do your thing. There's not just a cheap tutorial that serves as a campaign either. It's gonna be a lot of content, a lot of fun content. The challenges are interesting. I am planning on doing all the challenges. Usually when I review a game, whether or not I like it, because I have such a backlog, I do end up deleting them so I can move on to the next thing. This is one of those games that will stay in my library. It's gonna stay installed on my computer rather. But the complaint of having to wait for the milestones to complete is not gonna change. It's a huge detriment to the game, and I do believe most people will have a problem with it. From what I've read, very, very briefly, it's been brought up. I didn't think it was gonna be a problem. It was a problem, but not enough of a problem to make me stop playing the game. So it's something that you're gonna have to decide for yourself. Hopefully after watching this video you're gonna be like, hey, this shit sucks, it's not interesting at all, or I'll put up with it, it's fine. So there you have it. This was Dawn of Man. I believe I covered everything. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.